Tonight on Connecticut's news station, an investigation into a possible hate crime on a local college campus, and students are sharing their concerns. We'll hear what happened inside a busy dorm hall.
Plus, multiple family members facing charges after a teen accidentally shoots himself. The update we're hearing from police.
Plus, help for the unhoused before winter. Details ahead on the initiative happening in Hartford to keep people off the streets.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Police investigate a suspected hate crime on a local college campus, and now students are calling for change. Racist
and anti-Semitic graffiti was found scrawled inside a dormitory at Central Connecticut State University. And that's where we find Fox 61's Matt Caron live in New Britain now. Matt?
Well, this incident of hate has shaken the CCSU community to their core. Students we talked to said that it reflects poorly on their school, but it is not a reflection of the values of respect, diversity, and inclusion that the vast majority of students here believe in. Students at Central Connecticut State University in New Britain started their week with a swastika and the N-word.
It was a little disappointing to see, to be honest.
It's just not something I would expect to be especially happening on this campus.
The hateful graffiti was discovered and reported Monday, scrawled on the bathroom door inside the Seth North Residence Hall. It's where Sean O'Reilly lives.
They were drilling panels onto the wall of the bathroom stall. So we heard it last night, but we had no idea what was going on.
The messages were promptly cleaned up. A criminal hate crime investigation was launched, and a campus-wide letter was sent from President Zulma Toro, who said, quote, "I am asking all of you to join me in supporting our friends and colleagues who are impacted by this crime and to speak out against hate and intolerance."
I mean, it's completely unacceptable. I don't understand why there has to be so much hatred.
And it's not just CCSU.
This is an example of misinformation that's been posted and spread at UConn campus that is spreading fear and hate.
The Anti-Defamation League of Connecticut has recorded a 388% increase in hate incidents nationally, a 1,000% increase in social media hate, and a 295% increase in hate incidents in Connecticut.
I feel like people are low-key numb to it now, where it really shouldn't be.
We asked students, what can their generation do to fight back?
People are really inclusive, they stay to their friend groups. They need to be able to expand out and, take people for who they are.
I'm only one person. If I could fix it like that, I would, but it needs to be a whole bunch of us.
More love, not as much hate.
So tonight, a peace march has been organized across campus, and in addition to those possible criminal charges, whoever is responsible for that hateful graffiti, the school has made it clear they will be disciplined under their code of conduct, which could result in expulsion. We're live at CCSU in New Britain. Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Matt, thank you. And new at 6 tonight, a former Connecticut police officer previously charged in dozens of burglaries has been arrested again for allegedly being involved in even more burglaries now. Patrick Hemingway is accused of breaking into the old Weathersfield Country Store in February and stealing the cash register drawer. He's also accused of being involved in a burglary at Old Saybrook's Pizza Palace in May. Hemingway was previously arrested for his alleged involvement in dozens of other burglaries that extended into Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and for accessing the state's criminal database illegally. He previously served with the New Britain and Glastonbury police departments. Hemingway is being held on $1 million bond.
We have an official date for a second primary in Bridgeport. The do-over will take place January 23rd. This will only be for the mayoral race and Democratic candidates. As we covered extensively here on Connecticut's news station, a judge ordered a new primary after evidence of ballot fraud in that primary. According to the unofficial results from the first, Mayor Joe Ganim led John Gomes by just under 200 votes.
We have already seen freezing temperatures this week, and it's only going to get colder as the winter months approach, raising concerns for the homeless. Fox 61's Carmen Chow joins us live at Bushnell Park in Hartford now with how the state is ensuring they make it through the cold season. Carmen?
Brent and Sarah, it's not tough to find nowadays people living in tents or their cars. And while many of us would assume drugs are the culprit, state officials say many times it's reasons beyond their control.
It's honestly heartbreaking.
Saving lives this winter. That's the mission of today's summit, a group meeting consisting of multiple state agencies, making sure no lives are lost on the streets this season. The CEO of Connecticut Coalition to End Homelessness, Sarah Fox, is working collaboratively to develop strategies to address the statewide crisis.
Increased medical risks and hypothermia, and we know that the mortality rate for people who are experiencing homelessness dramatically increases.
Recent data reveals the total number of unsheltered individuals for every county in Connecticut is greater than 100. That means more than 1,400 people in the entire state are homeless in every age group, from as young as toddlers to people over the age of 55.
Our seniors, with the rising rents, it's hard for anyone to afford rent. And yet our seniors on Social Security disability are being forced into their cars.
State lawmakers set aside $5 million in the budget to address this crisis, but they know it's not enough.
We know that that money needs to be released from the Department of Housing so that all of the coordinated action networks that house our homeless folks can get to their good work, because, as we know, the temperature is dropping every night.
While most would assume drugs is the reason for ending up on the streets, Representative Kavros DeGrasse says it stems beyond that.
We have a housing crisis, which really needs to be addressed, because previously we were able to get our homeless into housing, affordable housing. We don't have enough affordable housing statewide.
And as part of ongoing efforts, CCEH will visit encampment sites as well as hold a roundtable discussion with lawmakers in Waterbury this Friday. I'm live in Hartford. Carmen Chow, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Carmen. Turning to the weather now, another nice day across the state.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frayne joining us now with a look at the forecast. Rach?
Yeah, tomorrow is looking brighter and warmer. So while today was nice, I think a lot of you are really going to be fans of both Thursday and Friday. 46 degrees right now in the Hartford area. We're closer to 50 degrees in New Haven and 42 in Norwich. Heading through the evening tonight, we're looking at overnight lows in the 30s, which is not as cold as it was last night into this morning. And tomorrow, not only is it warm, but we get sunshine pretty much from start to finish. Highs pushing 60 degrees. We're going to do this all over again on Friday too, although it won't be as sunny. We'll see increasing clouds. And then there is a chance for some showers as we head into early on Saturday. It's not going to be for the entire state though. It's certainly not going to be a washout. We'll talk more about the weekend. Plus, we are timing out the potential for rain and gusty winds as we head towards this time next week. And it's a big travel day leading into Thanksgiving. Your full forecast coming up.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. 3 Watertown family members are arrested in connection to a shooting. A teen accidentally shot himself in the head back in September. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin has more from the Watertown police chief.
Police tell me all 3 of those family members turned themselves in willingly yesterday. They're now facing several charges after a 14-year-old boy shot himself in the head while home alone. Watertown police say on September 30th, the teenager was at his home on Hadley Street when he got a hold of an unsecured gun and accidentally shot himself in the head. They say he survived and is now out of the hospital and recovering. Police say there were at least 20 guns in the house, many of which were not properly locked up or even locked up at all. Court documents show Elizabeth Salkevsky and Jose Soto Barrios are both charged with criminal negligent storage of a firearm, risk of injury to a minor, and 4 counts of reckless endangerment in the first degree. The boy's mom, Patricia Malott, is also being charged with 4 counts of risk of injury to a minor. Some of the charges are 4 counts each because police say there were 4 children in total that lived in that home with the 3 adults, so all 4 were currently at risk. Police tell us the guns all belong to Soto Barrios and they were legally owned. They say this tragedy tore this family apart and the teenager is lucky to even be alive.
This does happen time and time again. It's why guns are now being required to be sold with gun locks as part of that purchase, and why we have a law in place that says these guns have to be secured so that our vulnerable populations don't get their hands on them.
And police say 2 of those adults were arraigned yesterday. The other one still needs to face a judge, but they say that she suffered a medical episode and won't be cleared to go to court until that is over. In Watertown, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Brooke, thank you. Well, there's growing frustration in New Haven tonight after a 29-year-old man was shot and killed. Police say it happened just before 5 last night at the intersection of Grand Avenue and East Pearl Street in the city's Fairhaven section. New Haven police say it was reported as a drive-by shooting. The car involved was later found in North Haven with no one inside.
Fairhaven's getting brutal with violence out here, and unmarked cars coming through with people we don't know from other towns. It's getting bad.
The victim's identity has not been released, and police are still investigating.
Triple shootings under investigation in Hartford. Police responded to Main Street just before 8 last night. They found 2 men in their 20s with gunshot wounds. They were taken to the hospital. A third victim from the same incident later walked into the hospital with a gunshot wound. No word on any suspects.
And a woman is dead after being hit by 2 cars in Orange. Police say 43-year-old Kershida Mohammadi was crossing Boston Post Road in front of McDonald's yesterday when she was hit and killed. Now, the first car left the scene, and Mohammadi was then hit by a second car, and police say that driver did stop and is cooperating with the investigation. Call Orange Police if you witnessed this crash or have any information that could help.
Still to come here on the news at 6, President Biden meets with the Chinese president for the first time in a year. Details ahead on what the 2 leaders discussed.
And a proposal to say goodbye to gas-powered cars causing some controversy. The message from lawmakers tonight.
On Road Race Day, you can't miss their mission in Manchester. It is the return of the Road Race Ruckers. We're in East Granby today. More ahead on the Fox 61 News.